Friends and not frenemies. Joining us in the studio now, author J.L. Clark. Thank you so much for coming out here, getting up so early with us this morning.
Thank you, Sophia. I'm glad to be here.
So first, let's talk about you and your journey and your experience. When did you begin writing, and when did you know that that's what you wanted to do?
Well, I actually started writing when I was back in the 4th grade, and part of that came from my natural love of reading. I used to just live, breathe, and eat books. Just loved every type of book I could get my hands on and just read everything under the sun. And I realized that as I started to, spend more time creating my own stories, I thought, why wouldn't I want to write them down, right? So I started writing just as kind of short stories for fun, and I would show them to friends, and I showed them to a few teachers, and they were just so encouraging. I kept writing.
Yeah. And what inspired you? I mean, what are some of the things that you like to write about and get into and delve into?
Well, I think one of the things that, I realized as I got older was that there's so much pressure to do so many logical and boring and difficult things, even as a student and as an adult, that you want an escape. Mm-hmm. And personally, I always loved the movies and the books that I would, read and watch that just took me away to a different world. And so that's what I decided to write about.
And let's talk about them, because you've got some books out that we want to get into and talk about. Let's talk about the first one.
Well, the first one is actually entitled The Avalon Relics Lilith Links, and that is the first book in the trilogy. And it introduces you to a 17-year-old girl who coincidentally is also named Sophia. I know, it's the best name ever. And on her 18th birthday, she discovers that there's this hidden world of half fairy, half human beings called the Fayeds. Now, she inherited a pair of magical bracelets that she discovers are related to them, and one of 3 sacred relics that, when put together, gives the owner immeasurable power for good or evil.
Ooh.
So along the way, of course, you discover that she finds herself in a love triangle. What teenager wouldn't love that, right?
Yes.
She makes some new friends. She discovers that people that she thought were her friends maybe aren't really her friends. Yeah. And she has to navigate all of that and then figure out what that means for her.
And basically what you have to figure out in life, too, as well.
Yes, definitely.
And where can people get these books? Where can people buy these novels?
You can find them on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and it's also available on Google Play.
All right. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm so intrigued. I want to know what Sophia does.
I think you're going to have a great time when you pick it up.
Thank you so much, JL. You can find out all this information and see a replay of this interview online at clicktohouston.com. It'll be posted under the hot button. Courtney, back to you.
Oh, great interview. Okay, guys. Well, what